Hi, it's One Degree Advisors, where we help families cut through the noise to make confident financial decisions. Alex and I are working remotely, but we wanted to talk to you about the CARES Act. This is the bill that Congress passed. It has a lot of different provisions in there from to help small businesses, has to do with student loans, all kinds of things. And Alex has been doing a ton of research on this. He's going to be putting a written post out soon. But today we're going to talk about perhaps the most popular feature of the bill, which is the stimulus payments that are going directly to taxpayers. So tell us the highlights of that, Alex.
Yeah, so just cutting right to the chase. Folks that file their taxes buried filing jointly are set up to receive up to $2,400, and everyone else will receive up to $1,200. If you have dependent children under the age of 17, you'll also receive up to an additional $500 per child. So let's say you have 2 children under the age of 17, that's $1,000, 3, $1,500, and so on. There's actually no, it appears at this time, no cap on the amount of children that you can claim if you have them. Now, what you'll notice is that I said up to $2,400 or up to $1,200, and that's because you're not necessarily going to receive $2,400 if you make over certain amounts of money, right? This income amount is based off of your AGI, or adjusted gross income. And the tax returns that they'll be basing this information on is either your 2018 tax return or your 2019 tax return, right? So if you obviously you filed your 2018 tax return. If you haven't filed your 2019 tax return yet, they will be basing this information off of 2018. If you filed both, it appears at this time that they'll probably be using 2019, but there is no clear guideline exactly how this is going to pan out. So to give you a quick example, let's say in 2018, you made a bunch of money, and in 2019, you didn't have a great year, or things were a lot slower, so your income is lower. Well, your 2018 tax return might disqualify you from receiving any benefit, or it may reduce your benefit received because you made a lot of money. So it might behoove you to file a 2019 tax return ASAP if you haven't already, based upon your lower income amount, to try and get a higher stimulus check amount based upon your lower income.
Yeah, but it is fair to say, just to jump in real quick, that there's no real set day where even if you got 2019 in, they could have already calculated it. There's a little bit of a black box going on here as far as timing,
exactly. Right? Yeah, there is no guidelines in terms of if you file your tax return by X date, they'll use 2019. Yeah. So again, it's just if you haven't done it already, you better do it soon, because the deadline's coming up when they'll start to be making payments. The other important provision that we'll want to note here is that there's no clawback provision. So if you let's say you didn't make very much money in 2018 or 2019, but in 2020 you make a bunch of money, or in 2019 you made a bunch of money, they won't claw back the stimulus checks that you've received. Mm-hmm. And there's also one other key point here, is that let's say in 2019 and 2018 you made a bunch of money, and in 2020 you actually were laid off, right? So based on your 2018 and 2019 returns, you were disqualified from receiving anything or had a reduction. But in 2020 you're already laid off, so your year is going to be really low. There's actually talks right now that when you file your 2020 tax return in 2021, that you'll receive a credit. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help folks that need the money now, because they'll be getting it in 2021. But nonetheless, there are some provisions out there that allow folks to receive that income.
Yeah, and that is the imperfect of the system, is the fact that some people need it now, but they made good money last year, and they're not going to receive anything, or maybe less.
Exactly.
So talk about the timing. When should people expect the money to hit?
Yeah, so the talk right now is that payments via direct deposit, meaning it'll go into your bank account, will be received mid-April. So, within the next week or so, we should be seeing those checks rolled out in people's accounts. If you filed your tax return with direct deposit, right, so in 2018 or 2019, when you get your return or your refund, if you do direct deposit, that's how it'll shake out. If you did your taxes the old-fashioned way and you have a check sent to you, your stimulus check is likely to take a lot longer, because they're going to be sending it in the mail. The other important note that I want to make here is that the Treasury has made an announcement. They're going to be developing a website that will allow people to enter and update their direct deposit information. And the reason why this is important, let's say you filed your 2018 tax return and you had a refund sent to your bank account. Well, that bank account is since closed, right? The bank account you had in 2018, you've closed that down, you have a new bank account. Well, the Treasury doesn't know that, right? And so there's a lot of confusion now. Well, if it's closed, where are they going to send it? Where is it going to go? Is it going to be lost? And that's why they're producing this website. Hopefully mid-April, they plan to have it out. We'll see. That will allow folks to update their information. One thing I do want to mention, I forgot to note this above when we were talking about all these rebates and the phase outs, is that there are websites out there that will provide calculators to determine, how much you can expect to receive. And we'll actually include a link in the notes here for folks to use. I use the TurboTax one because I like it. It's very specific. It'll tell you, okay, if I file for 2018, how many children did I have under the age of 17 in 2018? So that's a really good tool, and we'll put that in the show notes for folks.
Yeah, and since people really don't know exactly when they're going to receive it or how much, it's our advice would be do a simple calculator. It's not going to be exact. At least It gives you an idea, and then something to expect at one point in time. So if you never get it, then you can eventually try and recoup.
Exactly. The other thing too to watch out for is that unfortunately there are a lot of scammers out there right now who are trying to take advantage of folks. Hey, put in your bank account information here and we'll make sure that we get the direct deposit into your account. Of course, they're just getting your banking information, or they'll make promises, we'll get the check to you faster. Unfortunately, they're all scams. The system is an imperfect system. You have to just kind of wait and see how it's going to work. And for folks that, maybe have a CPA or accountant or a financial advisor, it probably is a good idea to just run any website by them or information that you have to check its accuracy, because, we live in this arena, so we probably have a better feel of, what's legitimate, what's not, in terms of what's happening in the news.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. Anything else that people need to be aware of when it comes to this money?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, I think, again, the biggest thing is just understanding that it is an imperfect system.
Yeah.
And so we all just need to continue to be patient and help each other. The folks that are the most impacted by this, we are offering this Friday, April 10th, this Friday, Financial Wellness Fridays. Again, this is going to be for folks who have been impacted by the coronavirus. And this is our way of giving back. It's a free webinar that we'll be holding with folks one-on-one to kind of answer their questions, maybe provide some advice that they're looking for, and really give the guidance needed. There's no strings attached for doing this. Is our way of giving back during this time. So again, if you'd like to do this, or if you know someone who could use this help, it's Friday, April 10th, and you just send an email to admin@OneDegreeAdvisors. We've made a previous video on this, so you can go back and watch that as well.
Yep. Again, admin@OneDegreeAdvisors.com if you'd like to request an online meeting.
Yep.
We'd love to be able to help you. And beyond that, if you have financial planning and investment questions, these are the types of things that we help people with all the time. Always feel free to reach out to us here at One Degree Advisors. We'd love to talk to you. You can reach us, contact information through our website, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks.